They went and removed the cables that actually allowed the booster to take over. That means that I pulled the cables from the bottom to the top and then brought them down to the panel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So we are right here in Burkina Faso. As you can see, those three guys that wear orange coverall. It will actually shock you what those guys did. Okay, let me just explain a little bit before I allow you guys to listen to the full story. So these guys were the people who actually joined to lay cables, wire, connect the CCTVs. So after that, after they walk, these guys, the days preparing to launch this stadium. Do you know this guy? What this guy has been doing without the notice of the people of Burkina Faso? They went back to start removing the cables, disconnecting the CCTV cameras, taking the cables to cells. Okay, you will actually hear the full story. What was their mission? I think fully with the hard work of the people of Burkina Faso and Captain Ibrahim Traore. So beloved family, so the millions of dollars that they have spent to raise, to build the stadium to this standard, the days of to launch this stadium, something amazing happened because of these guys you see there. They could not be able to flush the toilet. Even the international people who came to inspect, they were disappointed. The question is that you see they put in a lot of hard work to make this happen. And these guys are not just the foreigners, they are the local of the local of Burkina Faso. They did this to their country. So guys, you can see the mentality of some. The question is that who sent these guys to do this? Because they said they were taking the cable, they were selling it to the foreigners. It's shocking. So guys, listen to this. Listen and do well to drop your own opinion. Do well to encourage me to subscribe. Take a look. Then when we come back, we will do our own analysis.
Hello. We are gathered here this morning at this particular time regarding the very serious and unfortunate situation that we have all regrettably and unfortunately witnessed and deeply deplored, which is specifically the burglary operation that was carried out and executed by the two individuals in question at our beautiful national treasure, the AGUST 4th Stadium. But what exactly did they do? What did they remove from the setup?
It was the electrical cable that runs from the pressurization room to the room where the water ring is. They specifically targeted that cable. So it's as if it acted like a sensor, actually. And since it was targeted after the water was cut off, it couldn't work. The system couldn't function, which meant that people went to the restrooms. There was no water, and there were a lot of complaints. And it should be noted that regarding the issue of stadium modulation, that's part of it. These are elements that could appear in the commissioner's report and could penalize us. It seems like your stadium, there isn't any other stadium.
Okay, they went and removed the cables that actually allowed the booster to take over. That means that even if the water is cut off, the booster, which was supposed to keep things running while waiting for the water to come back, so it's the cables that they went and cut.
Exactly.
The other individual
thing is that the cables were embedded in the ceilings, not laid directly on the floor.
So these weren't even things that are visible. It really needs to be experts in the field. Yes, okay. But how did they even manage to gain access to the stadium?
No, it's because before the match, there was the match, Niger-Congo. It happened here. We were informed about electrical problems with the outlets, some faulty outlets in the press box area. And in that regard, we spoke with the companies in charge of the stadium who called in the technicians who had worked on the electrical systems and the plumbing. So it's following that, I believe, that they called in those people who had already worked with the company.
So we assume that you work with companies whenever there are repairs and things like that to be done?
No, you should know that the stadium is always a work site. There are actually two companies working on the site. There's a Burkina Faso company and a Malian company. Now, since each of them did the work, whenever there are issues, we call on those two companies, so that each person, wherever they work, can call these technicians to intervene.
So actually, it's the skilled technicians from those various companies who worked here at this location, who were compensated according to the specific work and tasks they did, meaning they were paid for their efforts and contributions. After finishing, they left, set up a detailed plan, and now they're coming back to this place. And then after all that, they broke in. So who's the mastermind over there? Today, we're going to carefully follow you. You'll go back to the circuit there and then explain to us in detail how you managed to cut it. Please take your time. So the cables that belong to the nation.
So they called you to come do a job. That's right. So you took advantage of that to get inside. I pulled the cables from the bottom to the top and then brought them down to the panel because they said to arrange the cables on the cable tray and make sure the ceiling is properly closed. Now, there was a 4x5 cable that was coming down and going into the old cover. So I cut the cable so I could close up and tidy the ceiling. So when I cut the cable, it was at least about 8 to 12 meters long, maybe even a little more. That's when one of my friends was there with me. He was actually at the gym at the time. I gave it to him to take home and I was going to use it to set up my house. When I got home, I saw that the cable wasn't suitable for my work. So I took the cable, burned it, and then went to sell it. I'm the one who stole the cable. Here, this is the new one, and here is the old cable. This is what I wired. This is the old part, and here is the new part. So yeah. So the bus, there at that spot, it had come down from there, so I carefully cut them. The wire that I cut here, right at this place, that's the one I took.
This door wasn't closed. The gym room was there. He took it and put it in his bag. He didn't. And who?
Who is he? It's Herman Tway. He's a friend. I can't play with you, but I'll let you have all your things to welcome. That's clear. You cut the cable there. For what purpose? I cut it at the front. How
did you then manage to get out with the cable?
He took it. Now he's the one who left with it.
He left with the black cable.
He went that way to leave with the cable. He went out like that. Let me remind you of the pain of
joy. You didn't ask for cameras.
Yes, there was, in fact, the camera room.
But Professor, you need to explain all your ingenuity. When you talk like that, it sounds as if it was an easy thing to do. You have to show people that you designed the thing, that you thought it through. Or maybe you came first and unplugged the cameras, which means you didn't even come in through here.
I came in through there.
So you came in there and unplugged the cameras. I
went out here and then I went back in.
So you came in through there, went out here, entered the room, unplugged the cameras to do like Amin, before coming in now to remove the frame. So the first step was getting access. Then you unplugged the cameras and after that you came back to cut the frame. Now what I want to know is who showed you how to work on those cameras?
I did the installation.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you were the one who did it. So it's actually someone from the house. When you were doing that, he thought when you look at the wire you cut, you were going to sell it, right? How much did you get? You got 12,000.
You got
12,000 francs. That's not, so for you, if that's not really, because in your head, something isn't clicking, you have a problem there. Look at the stadium. Look at how many people depend on this stadium. Look at how many years we've spent suffering, waiting just to be able to play our home games. Right? That means you, just like that, you could, we're talking about all of us, the whole of Burkina Faso. Here. To go and sell it for 12,000 francs. You can't just mess with people like that. No, what you were going to sell, you got 12,000 for it. Yet, how much do you estimate the stadium renovations cost?
Billions.
Billions. So you can take 1 billion and turn it into 12,000 francs. Is that it? Just because simply the billions aren't in your pocket. But the 12,000 at least, that's yours. That's how you think. That's it, right? So that means that we, standing here, you could even sell us for 12,000.
Authority, that's a mistake I'm responding to.
It's not a mistake. A mistake is when you're walking and then you fall. But this, you went home at night, you lay down. You actually called upon the abilities of your brain. You thought it through. You came up with the plan. And then you came and carried it out. Oh, Gandago. Let's go over there, we'll go see. That's not a mistake. You're going to pay for that. That's not a mistake. You're going to pay for that. That's not a mistake at all. And you are definitely going to pay for that, just so you know. No, it's actually up ahead, further along the way. Let's continue the demonstration. Here, there, what did you do?
No, that's where the camera's cover is. No, it's
where the camera's cover is. So here, it's the cover camera. So here, it's the cover camera. Actually, how did I do it? Because I see a key.
Yes, we were given keys. Keys. So I had a key, and I opened it, and I unplugged it.
Since you're the technicians, you have keys. So when you came with your key, you opened it, and then you unplugged the camera. Which camera did you unplug?
It was that one, the hallway camera.
Ah, so after the camera, what happened?
No, my guy left, and I went to the office.
So he left, and then you went to the office. Yes, okay. And besides, the toilets aren't working. And that's what happened, isn't it? So as a result, we end up with people going into the toilets, and when they're finished, there's no water available for them to use. So in that situation, they're forced to leave, and just leave what they've done inside the toilets like that, unable to flush or clean up. And that's exactly what the match commissioner, the official in charge, noticed during the inspection. He even wrote it down in his report to send over there. So the foreigners who were there, everyone who was there saw this and said that the Cap Mutra Stadium has a toilet problem, all simply because of you. You even went so far as to tarnish the name of the country. The homeland or death, what does that mean to you? What have you turned this motto into? In any case, it's not about the homeland, it's about your stomachs first. Goldsmith, what did you go there to do?
I bought some gas and then I ate,
You bought gas and then you ate.
and I took it off and gave it to the one who was here. It's a cable about 35 meters long that they removed because to replace it, we had to bring in another 35-meter cable to put in its place. It powers the booster pump. It draws water, the water relay, when there's a water outage at the 4th August Stadium. And it's this cable that allows the booster pump to start automatically and supply the entire stadium. The field, the toilets, the pipes, etc., with water.
The slightest little detail, the smallest oversight, could lead to the withdrawal of the 4th August Stadium's certification. And that would once again force us to deal with situations we did not want, which in any case have been costly for the public treasury.
So we are once again calling on the people of Burkina.
The slightest little detail, the smallest oversight, could lead to the withdrawal of the 4th August Stadium's certification. And that would once again force us to deal with situations we did not want, which in any case have been costly for the public treasury.
So we are once again calling on the people of Burkina Faso. There are actions to ban. There are things we need to erase from our habits. People need to embrace, as I often say, the spirit of the Burkinabe. They need to understand what it means to be a true son of the nation and act accordingly. Even if it's hard, we must not resort to certain practices. It's very bad, and not only does it damage the country's image, but the consequences have even reached the international stage. Following reports made by the match commissioners who were present, Sami, the audience who were there to support, felt very uncomfortable because people were unable to flush the toilets after using them. Sami, what can I say? The organization responsible for maintaining the stadium was also uncomfortable because afterwards we had to rush to find ways to deal with the problems caused by that and get things back in order. It's discouraging, it's deplorable that an entire nation which was looking forward to something and made every effort to make it happen ends up being treated this way. So we are calling on people to be patriotic, to have a sense of responsibility, to be civic-minded. That's it. People need to stop these actions. If we remove them here, they can get involved in other things. When we say it's not good, it's not good. We don't need it to just stand by and wait for the issue to come up to say, oh, I didn't know. That's not true. That's a lie. People know what's wrong. People know what needs to stop. So now there will come a time when we stop raising awareness. We can't do this and call it a mistake. We can't do this and claim we didn't know, because it's clearly a setup. It's an operation that was put in place to do exactly this. So we will always crack down on these acts. And now it's going to escalate further. We truly call on people to take personal responsibility so that we can all live together in harmony for the good of the nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have actually listened to every bit of the narration, how it happened. And these guys are not like the foreigner or the outsider that came from other part of African country. This particular person that is doing this is the local of Burkina Faso. Secondly, they are not jobless. They are professional technicians who lay those cables that they are taking. They are removing, and they are the one who also fix the CCTV camera. So the question we should ask, even within there are an enemy of progress, with all the hard work of the people of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim throughout the sleepless night, they are working day and night to make Burkina Faso become one of the best, to bring Burkina Faso back to life. Burkina Faso should stand as one of example that this is how sovereignty looks like. So the young youth like this with such evil, because I would say with such, I don't know how to put it, with such heartless. I would call it heartless heart for them to know, and to know this is not just a civilian government. This is a military government, and they still have the effrontery for them to go in and remove this wire to cells. So, guys, I want you to understand this is not just because these guys they just want to do this is for fun. They want to know there is something. There is something. The enemy that is really want to see that Burkina Faso never make it. This enemy are the one who engineer this action of those guys. This enemy are the one. So this is to see that a lot of us in Africa, we also join the enemy who never want our progress to destroy our nation. I think this is what we see with all the fights of Captain Abraham Traore to make sure that the citizens are okay. The generation that are coming will be okay. They will not be flying from all parts of the country to look for ends meet. Someone will be within to destroy. So, guys, I don't know what you think of this. It's so disgusting. If this young guys could do this, even though someone send you to do it, you say no. With the hard work, people give their life for this. People lay down their life day and night to fight the terrorists to take over territory. A lot of the armies are on. A lot of armies give their life, their families, they unalive them. The nation is like this is growing. Instead of to support, you become one of the sabotage. It's funny. So, guys, now Burkina Faso does not have prison to keep those people. So they would make them to join the fast. That is what we call the prisoner is the people that they instead of them to keep them in prison. Burkina Faso, Captain Abraham Torres said this were what the colony, the slave master brought to us. So he's not using that method. So they does not have prison to put the people. They will make them work for this. All those road work, farm work, these guys are going to work. So they tag these guys, the enemy of Burkina Faso, as it's written in their back. So, guys, what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea from uh, Captain Abraham? So instead of them to put them in prison, it makes them to work. So what do you think, guys? This is what we are seeing. So, guys, do well to like, share, and do well to encourage me to subscribe. God bless you.